I did my homework last week, studied up on the Shulk Luigi matchups, and they're kind of two ends of the spectrum for Wario, like I was talking about in last week's bracket breakdown. Shulk just has more range, you have to be a bit more patient when you take your turns, you can't rush in recklessly. Similarly, you can't rush in recklessly against Luigi, but not because of range, but because of his crazy punish game. So if your paths are just too oriented towards Luigi, you get blown up, upbeat, 0 to death, that sort of thing. And while I was just studying up on these matchups, I sort of came across, well, it felt kind of natural, but my mind sort of settled on a couple of metaphors on just how to think about the matchup, and it's actually been really useful to sort of it's like I'm sort of distilling, condensing down all these complicated ideas into just a metaphor that's almost intuitive to understand. So to give you an example, for Luigi, as a bit of a physicist, I thought of him as like a black hole. So past an event horizon around Luigi, if your approaches are too reckless and that your trajectories, I guess as Wario, end up in this circle around Luigi, you're going to get not even light can escape a black hole, right? So not even light can avoid Luigi's up B punishes. So you've got to be careful. You can't just recklessly go in, try cross up. Crossing up actually helps Luigi's up Bs. So I needed to be more careful, I guess, with the paths I took, not just trying to land on top of the opponent, but maybe just going through them. If I don't hit them, that's fine. Like, it's a bit safer, I guess, to sort of try intersect them on a path than sort of arrive at them and then not really have anything to do after that. It's a bit unsafe, I guess, to sort of approach them in that way. So yeah, black holes was sort of the metaphor, I guess, for Luigi, and I tried to get a couple of metaphors for Shulk. I guess for Shulk, what I thought about is kind of like a spear from like ancient history. Spears traditionally, so if you're outside the range of the spear, I mean, you're fine, but you can't really attack the opponent. If you're at the range of the tip of the spear, so sort of around that area like they like to attack, not ideal. Well, let's just say you have a sword and shield, it's not ideal. You're sort of outrange, you can't really attack them, but they can attack you. So the shield is quite good in that aspect. The spear is quite good in that aspect. But if, say, you slipped past the tip of the spear and then you're up close, now you have the advantage. You can sort of parry, reflect, choose to go in. It's sort of like your turn, I guess, in that aspect. But that doesn't just mean you should like recklessly run in and like try rush past Shulk's range, because if they know you're going to always go in every chance you get, they can start doing countermeasures themselves. They can do retreating aerials, they can just shield and up B what you're doing, for example. There's lots of different ways to sort of counterplay if you're just going to rush in, try to get past the range. So I guess my other metaphor was Shulk's kind of like a storm, like a hurricane, and outside the hurricane, obviously you're all good. You can't really approach the hurricane though. Then there's a sort of swirl of area around his nair, and then there's sort of like a calm in the center of the storm. But you're not just going to recklessly rush into the storm. You sort of let it do its path, well, let it do its thing, and then you can maybe see if you're going to be in that range or not. I don't know. What I'm trying to kind of say is, when I'm playing Shulk now, I'm not going to just use every turn I get to rush in and try and get a hit. I can just close out the space. I can feint, so I could like pressure, pretend I'm going in, sort of build a sort of repertoire of what the opponent is doing to stop me going in. If it's just retreating aerials, I'll take space. If it's shielding, I could chomp, grab, see what they're doing out of shield, maybe punish that as well. There's lots of different routes you can take in these aspects, and when I stopped approaching things as just like, I can't get in, how am I going to get in, how am I going to get my hits, started thinking about how am I counterplaying them, how can I stay disciplined and let the hits find me. Even if the other games take longer, I think it's a smarter play to sort of take things slow, build up your sort of chances and not overexpose yourself. I think especially for Wario, it's better to be inactive and correct than to force things and have say I go in a third of the time against Shulk's aerials. I mean, I've got combos, but I mean, he can build up a pretty big lead in that time. If it's just constantly going to be, I'm getting in a third of the time and I'm just getting a fair, which is like 8%. And then he's getting his buster, speed art. If he's shielding my combos as well, it's just not worth it. So if you want to go in, you got to make the hits count, and that's, I guess, what I've been thinking about. Yeah, metaphors for these matchups. And for the bracket breakdown for today's video, I think I'm just going to try to come up with a metaphor as I'm playing, and I can sort of tell that to you, I guess, in the car talk from the venue. So that's basically what I'm thinking about, really, other than a little bit on combos. I won't go into too much, but maybe I'll just save that for next video. But that's sort of the other thing I'm thinking about as well. Not just getting straight hits all the time, maximizing my hits. Like, I was actually practicing landing Nair into Nair 1-2. So what I was doing was I was doing Nair 1 landing. Then you're supposed to dash, do Nair 1-2. But I was inputting the dash too early, and dash isn't really bufferable. You've got maybe like 10 frames to input dash. So if you're doing dash like way too early before your lag is over, it's not going to come out and you're just going to jump on the spot. So just been experimenting with like just more refined movement in my combos, and I'll talk about that a bit more, I guess, in next week's video. So thanks for tuning in, and let's see how today's tourney goes. Catch ya.
Guys, I'm back. Sad news. I'm DQing Talcon because he is a little late. Bow bow. What's his new game? Tour de Rouen, thank you. Going into the second game. It seems pretty close. Talcon just got here, you mean? I mean, he is like 15 late. Maybe. If he's like immediately... I'm gonna see right... Yeah, I'm gonna... Talcon's just gonna... Yeah.
Sure. You say so. Ed went to bracket. What is this, Ed? Ed was like, I'll farm the old man. Get myself rerunning.
I got him to like set up his setup immediately and then sit down. Yeah.
We'll be right back.
Yeah, I just told them. No worry. Oh, sorry. It's partially because I know the Falcon likes to like come and go to the bathroom for a bit, take a while to set up, and I'm like, that means by that point he's like 7:45 and he's ready to play. But if I can just get him on it immediately, then that's ideal. I can like run that. 15 minutes isn't a big deal. We started the bracket a little late anyway. So, by the way, Josh was up 2 stars. Yeah, chocolate still goes to events. A big loss. Josh taking it. Good on him. Good on him. So he's gonna be playing friendly. 2-0 to him.
Let's freaking go. That was a hot tourney. I felt like everything sort of came together, and the things I've been sort of talking about in these card talks, practicing, they've just become a natural extension of how I'm playing now. I don't have to actively think about each of these things. I sort of just am doing it, which is a nice stage. That's like, now you can tell it's sort of become automated. It's just how I view the game, how I value each interaction. It's almost just a given now. It's just how I see the game. So yeah, really cool to see it all pay off in this tournament, and I was really happy with the level I was playing at. So let's talk about that by doing a bracket breakdown. So my first opponent was Max, kind of a new player. Well, it was a new player to the scene. It's actually his first offline tourney, so he told me that he'd played a decent bit, like from about 4 years, at home, done a couple online tourneys, but it's his first experience at an offline tourney. So it's a little intimidating to hear that from your round 1 opponent. You're like, am I playing a cracked cunt? Or just someone who could maybe be nervous because they haven't really experienced the tourney adrenaline for the first time. So I sort of was just a little bit hesitant in our first interactions. I was just seeing what he was doing, but I could tell he was playing really well. Like, he already had the spacing down. He wasn't rushing in, wasn't trying to like rush his hits. He was just finding hits, and I was like, damn, okay, I gotta lock in. Yeah, so they were playing Yoshi, and honestly, a metaphor for Yoshi is he's just like Wario. He sort of wants to get his combo starters with like up tilt into the up airs, wants to anti-air, use his good buttons, and good air drift to sort of swap people out of the air so they can't be too careless. The outer shield's also quite good, like with the nair and stuff. So yeah, kind of just very similar to Wario. So whenever I play them, I'm not trying to challenge what they're doing, because sometimes I think Yoshi does the anti-airs a little bit better than Wario does. But Bike's good in that matchup as well. You can sort of like cover an arc of where they like to hover and float in the air with just neutral forward throw. So, and did a good job. I noticed he had a habit of double jumping with his armor as he was getting from off stage and just coming out with an aerial. So rather than try to challenge the double jump aerial head on, I sort of just dashed back, walked, and then when I was in the spot, got an F tilt. So that was sort of how I adapted that game. Got a nice up air into waft as well, game 1. Then game 2, I played Will, or Billy. Good player, one of the top 10 players in the scene. I think about 6, 7. That was an axie. But they haven't really been playing their usual Shotos. They've just been playing Hero, because they've been fiending Dragon Quest lately, just been getting into Hero. And I was actually really happy with how I was playing that game. I wasn't playing too far away that I was just giving them free menu pulls, not too close where I was getting hit with the side B 1 or 2 charges. Just finding my hits, doing a really good job being patient, and our games were long. I think it was reliably about 3 minutes left on the clock each time, and I hit a waft every game. So, oh, actually no, not game 2. Almost hit a waft game 2. So game 1, I got an air 1-2 up air waft, just classic bread and butter combo. Game 2, I shielded one of their, I think, aerials, found the backwards nair to sort of take them to the ledge, and after the nair 2, I could have like maybe dashed and jumped and got the waft, but I sort of just jumped and I wasn't in the right spot. But you don't really have a lot of time to kill, so I sort of just ripped it after I did the jump. But I think I should have been tracking the drift a little bit better if I wanted to hit it. That's fine. And then game 3, I think I just hit a raw waft. Oh no, I hit a half waft on... No, it was a full waft. I hit a full waft on... They did like a up B out of shield, and I sort of just followed them to the platform, and I don't think they were ready for it because it was sort of like I was last stock, they were stock 2 at 80%, and people tend to get a little slack at that percentage because they're like, oh, he's saving the waft for the last stock. But it's good to sort of break that expectation and just be like, okay, I'm going to kill you quickly so that you don't rack up a lead for that last stock, and then we can sort of play even-ish. Maybe I get a half waft. So I think it's a good idea, and it's worked out when people sort of let their guard down. They're past that 60%-ish where up to up air tends to hit, and that's when I tend to find the wafts, because people start playing aggressively and they're like, oh, need to get some hits before that last stock, and yeah, that's a good chance to sort of get it. So yeah, I was really happy with that. Lost 1-2, but it was close, so yeah, quite happy. Then after that, I played Seb. So Seb was playing Lucina today. It kind of plays a variety of characters, and man, it was tough. He was playing just really patient, finding his aerials, just being a menace to Wario, to be honest, with the range. And yeah, I mean, Lucina's kind of just Shulk, but not as much range and not as slow with the aerials, so kind of similar to that analogy I was telling you guys about with like spear or sword, whatever. And I had the lead game 1 actually, but they had this really clutch thing they did from the ledge where they just like, they dashed back and I went to fair, and I was sort of there to hit them with the fair, but because F smash kind of pulls back, my fair whiffed and they just hit me with the F smash to kill me at like 80 and make a comeback. So I was like, oh shit, wasn't expecting that. And game 2, they basically 0 to death me. So I'm down a game, down a stock, but never give up. So I managed to play patient, find my hits, and there was a situation where they went off stage to edge guard me, and I up B to the ledge, but they didn't tech in time, and it was PS2, so they kind of got hit under the stage and down, and they just weren't ready for it. They already used their double jump to edge guard, and then up B didn't reach. So yeah, that was kind of clutch, and that sort of equalized the stocks. And then I didn't find a waft. I just managed to find down to a dash attack. I just took my time. We were super even. It was like 140, 120. I didn't panic, didn't do anything, just waited, got the down to the dash attack. So quite happy with that. And then game 3, I think I built like a really solid lead, stock 1. So I think their mental sort of crumbled a bit because they're like game 3, down heaps, and I just kept pushing the initiative. I'm like, I'm gonna keep getting hits. I'm gonna keep getting hits. If you're frustrated, I'm just gonna play on it. I mean, I'm not someone that likes doing that. I actually feel bad about doing it, but it's just a competitive setting, and that's just how it is. So, yeah, managed to win 2-1. Super happy about that game too. So, yeah, after Seb, I versed Question or Beaches, and they play Bowser Jr. And we actually haven't played any real sets. I mean, we played once at off week in leveling up my Wario number 25, but I wasn't playing my character. I was just playing Falco and Joker. So this is our first serious set of Wario Bowser Jr. Somehow we just never encountered each other before. So I wasn't too sure going into it. I don't have the most experience with Bowser Jr. But the way I was sort of thinking about it was Bowser Jr. is kind of like Sonic in that how he uses the side B, how he does all these things. So I was using the bike well, having it on the ground so that when they hit it, I can sort of interrupt their side B. And the other thing I was doing was, yeah, just using the bike to cover that sort of board throw range. I noticed they had a shield grab habit as well, so I was mixing up with that. And what was the last thing? Yeah, I noticed I was kind of struggling to pick up the Koopa, the explosive Koopa, but I was using it to their disadvantage because they sort of would go in when they used it, thinking I wouldn't grab it, but because I've versed Rob's gyro a bit, I do know you're supposed to dash, then press A, so I ended up figuring it out during the set, and then using it against them because they think, oh, I'm not going to be able to grab it. Then I started grabbing it. So I won that 2-0, but damn, game 1 was close. They made like a super big comeback. So I don't, actually no, I hit a waft on their side B. They were sort of side being off the, from off stage, like trying to just come back with their armor, and then yeah, waft's going to beat the armor, because it just does that much damage. So I just picked my time, waited for them to come forward, boom, I was just there for the waft. Just jumped, got the waft. So I was quite happy with that recognition as well in that matchup. And then my last opponent was Jamie or Bunk. So Jamie, we've played heaps before, played heaps in bracket, always goes back and forth. And I won the last one in leveling up my Wario number 29, and he won this one. And it always goes back and forth, I'm pretty sure. So, but oh, damn, this was a really close one though. So game 1 we went Hollow Bastion, and I'm not sure how I got a waft, can't remember. I definitely got one. I don't remember. It doesn't matter. So I managed to win game 1, and I was just doing a really good job of just recognizing when to go in, when to take it slow, when Jamie was going to overcommit. And something I was doing was punishing Jamie for fairing in front of me. If I was too far away and just threw out the fair, I can actually time my dash and grab to punish. But then he started spot dodging to counter that. So smart from him. Smart adaptations. Yeah, he kept spot dodging during the set, which is good because he recognized I was sort of going for these grabs. But something I was doing was, when I was doing my combo routes, I started thinking less about what each hit was doing. Like if I was doing near 1, 2, I wouldn't go up air. I would be like, I just jump and be in the position. So for Cloud specifically, because it's hurt box shifting, it's actually kind of hard to get first up air after the near 1, 2. So I just went fair. I just did fair instead, just mixed up the combo, because he's sort of SDIing out, got the fair, and then I got another follow-up by just dash grabbing, got an up throw up air. So I think that was good recognition for me. And the other thing I was doing was, he kept, after like say a juggle situation with up throw up air, he'd wait till I couldn't really do anything, and then he'd just double jump, go to the other side of the stage. And I had good recognition to just go, okay, now I'm going to challenge that, just sort of wait a little sec, like maybe half a sec, and then double jump, try just catch you for going double jump that way. And we didn't have jump. Super scary situation for Cloud. I actually got a futsal that game, which is kind of crazy. I didn't kill, but I did like a futsal edge guard. He was sort of just coming in an awkward angle where he had to go low and then up B, and I just went off futsaled, but he had his jump, so he managed to get back. But that just shows how well I was playing. Who does futsals? I was just thinking about that. I was just quite happy. I was doing things like I dash up to the edge of the stage, try to get him to flinch, use like a resource like side B, jump, air dodge, something like that. And at really pivotal points where I could tell Jamie knew I could like just come off and hit. So yeah, I mean, I ended up losing. It was quite a tense last game 3 stock. He was at about 46%, and I was 130. So one of his hits is going to kill me. And I actually used the half waft. I can't remember when, but I think he just jumped onto the platform, and I just jumped up, did the half waft just to surprise him, I guess. And then I had half waft by the end stage as well. So if I got an up air into waft, I mean, that could have worked at that percentages. So yeah, I was quite happy. with how close it was, and we both were feeling really tense. I could tell. I had that tingling, numb feeling in my hands, which comes from adrenaline. So, yeah, I was sweating. And he popped off at the end, which is kind of funny because Jamie never really pops off. But I don't mind when he pops off because I could tell it was just a 10 set, and he was happy how he was playing. So, kudos to Jamie at Bunk, and that's about it. That sort of wraps up my tourney run. Nothing really else to say.